Welcome to the people who leave without saying goodbye. Today, we're diving into the quiet endings, the ones that don't come with a conversation, a door slam, or even a text. They drift, they blur, they ache. We're asking why some relationships fade without words and how we heal when we don't get the closure we hoped for. With me is Dr. Morichon, a psychologist who specializes in attachment, grief, and how we love in the digital age. Maya, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm really glad to be here. This is such a tender theme because it sits at the intersection of loss, identity, and communication. And in the digital era, faded endings are so common and so poorly understood.
Let's anchor our terms. When we say people who leave without saying goodbye, what are we actually talking about?
Great place to start. I think of it as a spectrum. On one end, there's outright ghosting, a sudden, complete cutoff without explanation. In the middle, there's the slow fade. Texts get shorter, plans get vague, availability evaporates. On the other end, there are unspoken endings caused by life shifts. Someone gets overwhelmed, depressed, or starts a demanding job. They're still kind, but they stop showing up. The through line is there's no explicit conversation that names what changed. And the absence of words leaves the person on the receiving end to fill the silence with stories.
Stories like, if I were better, smarter, less needy, they'd still be here.
Exactly. Our brains hate uncertainty. When we don't get a goodbye, our mind tries to make sense, often by blaming ourselves. That's part of why these endings hurt so much.
Why do people leave without saying goodbye? Let's be honest, many of us have done it. What's happening under the surface?
A few patterns show up again and again. Conflict avoidance, saying I'm leaving or I can't offer this anymore, is uncomfortable. Some people believe, consciously or not, that silence is the kinder option. Attachment patterns, avoidant attachment leans toward distance when things get emotionally demanding. Anxious attachment may also disappear when overwhelmed or ashamed. Shame and self-protection. If someone feels they failed or led you on, shame can make them hide. The internal logic is, if I vanish, I don't have to face what I did. Cultural norms. In some cultures, direct endings are seen as rude. People rely on hints, hoping you'll get it. Digital dynamics. It's easier than ever to just not reply. Our tools make avoidance frictionless. Safety or capacity. Sometimes people genuinely don't have the bandwidth. Mental health struggles, caregiving, financial stress. Words are hard when you're underwater. None of this excuses harm, but it explains the human tendency to avoid discomfort.
That avoid discomfort line hits because the person left behind ends up holding all the discomfort. What's going on internally for the person who doesn't get a goodbye?
There's a term, ambiguous loss. You lose someone, but without the social markers of loss. No breakup talk, no ritual, no recognition. It creates a stuck loop. Your attachment system stays alert, scanning for signs, checking timestamps, rereading messages. Physiologically, you can feel hypervigilant. Sleep changes, appetite shifts, obsessive thinking. Psychologically, it shakes identity. Was I imagining the closeness? Did I miss red flags? Am I not worth an explanation? That uncertainty is exhausting.
And it rarely stays a private pain. It leaks into work, friendships, even how you show up with yourself.
Yes, your nervous system learns, people disappear, prepare for loss. It might lead to protective strategies, like preemptively detaching or over-pursuing, which both can be lonely.
Okay, so some relationships end quietly, and if you're listening right now, maybe one is still echoing in your body. Maya, could we start with a small, simple nervous system reset for that echo?
Absolutely. Let's do a short practice. If you're listening, you can try this. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale through your mouth for 6. Let your shoulders drop at the end of the exhale. Do that 3 times. As you exhale, silently say, I release what I cannot control. Now, place a hand over your chest and name your feeling out loud and one or two words. Sad, angry, confused. Naming reduces the sting. This doesn't fix the loss, but it reduces the panic. We can't reason well when our body feels threatened.
Thank you. Now, let's talk healing. If someone didn't say goodbye, how do we create closure without their participation?
I like a three-part framework: clarity, containment, and continuity. Clarity. Name what happened in simple language. This relationship ended without a conversation. Not, they must hate me. Just the observable truth. Containment. Set boundaries with the stimuli that keep the wound open. Social media, shared playlists, late-night scrolls. Create a container for grief. A time, a place, a practice. Continuity. Reconnect with your own life force, values, routines, relationships that existed before and will exist after. This is how you remember you're more than this ending.
Let's make that concrete. Walk us through a step-by-step.
Step 1. Name the story, then widen it. Say out loud, the story I'm telling myself is that I wasn't worth a goodbye. Then list 3 alternative possibilities that do not make you the villain. They avoid conflict, they're overwhelmed, they didn't know how to own their feelings. You don't have to like these, you're just loosening the grip of the meanest story. Step 2. Create a closure ritual. Humans need rituals to mark change. Write a letter you won't send. Say all the things: appreciation, disappointment, the boundaries you're choosing now. Read it aloud to yourself or to a trusted friend. Tear it up, burn it safely, or seal it in an envelope labeled complete. Choose a symbol. Remove their notifications, return or box up items, change your ringtone. Your brain loves physical cues. Step 3. Set a contact boundary. Decide 30 days of no checking their profiles. If you can't unfollow, mute. Remove easy access shortcuts. Tell a friend, if I want to look, I'll text you first. Borrow their nervous system when yours is shaky. Step 4. Body-based regulation. Try a daily 5-minute routine, a brisk walk, a set of long exhales, humming, vagal nerve stimulation, or a warm shower followed by a cozy wrap. Your body needs safety signals. Step 5. Meaning making. Ask, what value did I honor in this relationship? Maybe you showed up with softness, curiosity, humor. Those aren't lost. They're yours. Ask, what boundary do I want to practice next time? Clarity is a gift you can learn to give and expect.
I love the phrase, clarity is a gift. Let's talk about giving clarity, because someone listening is realizing, oh, I'm the one who fades. If that's you, how do you exit with care?
First, take a breath and drop the shame. Most of us weren't taught how to end things. The skill is simple. Be kind, be brief, be clear. No ghost text essays, no false hope, no disappearing act. Here are some scripts you can adapt. Casual dating, a few dates. Thank you for the time we've shared. I don't feel the connection I'm looking for, so I won't be continuing. Wishing you well. Serious dating, months in. I care about you, and this is difficult to say. I don't see our long-term paths aligning. I'm ending the romantic relationship. I know that's painful, and I'm sorry for my part in that. I won't be available for ongoing contact. Friendship drifting. I've noticed I don't have the capacity to show up as a friend right now. I'm stepping back. It isn't about your worth, it's about my limits. I wanted you to hear that directly. Colleague or collaboration. I'm grateful for our work together. I'm exiting this project as of date. Here's what I can hand off. Here's what I can't. Thank you for the collaboration. Keep it honest but not cruel. Don't list every flaw or ask them to convince you otherwise. You're not opening debate. You're delivering clarity.
That last line, "you're delivering clarity," is such a helpful phrase. For the person left behind, sometimes the urge is to reach out for closure. How do we decide whether to send that last message?
Use a quick check-in. Intention. Are you seeking information, reconnection, or relief? If you're seeking relief from anxiety, a reply might soothe you temporarily, but prolong the loop. Likelihood. What does their pattern say? If they've repeatedly ignored, your message may be unanswered. Cost. Will waiting for a reply keep you stuck? If you do reach out, make it self-honoring. No begging, no self-attack. Try, "I've noticed our communication has paused. If you don't have the capacity to continue, I respect that. I'm going to step back now and won't be reaching out further. I wish you well." That closes your side with dignity. You're not forcing a response, you're choosing a boundary.
That line is such a gift. "I'm going to step back now." It disarms the maybe later cycle. Speaking of cycles, let's talk patterns. Who is more likely to leave without saying goodbye, and where do culture and neurodiversity fit in?
A few tendencies with lots of individual variation. Strong conflict avoidant or dismissive avoidant patterns. Endings feel dangerous, silence feels safer. People socialize to prioritize harmony. Direct no's can feel like betrayal, so hints substitute for honesty. Neurodivergent folks, executive dysfunction can make communication hard. Time blindness creates unintentionally long gaps. Some will compose a goodbye in their head and think they sent it. Trauma survivors, saying goodbye can trigger loss memories. Distancing happens preemptively. On the flip side, people with anxious attachment may pursue clarity repeatedly, and if they don't get it, it can feel like an old wound being reopened. None of these are character flaws. They're strategies that once kept us safe.
Let's get practical for friendships, because romantic guidance is everywhere, but friendship endings can be even murkier. How do we notice a slow fade without spiraling?
Start with a gentle audit. Ask, has the reciprocity changed? Do we still make plans and keep them? When we connect, do I feel seen and safe? If the answers point to distance, try a clear, low-pressure reach out. Hey, I miss you. I'd love to catch up in the next couple of weeks. If that's not possible for you right now, I understand. If they don't respond or keep punting, name the reality. It seems like our lives are in different seasons. I care about you and will hold you fondly, but I'm going to step back from reaching out. That's you giving yourself closure while keeping the door cracked for sincere reconnection later.
What about work? Collaborations, mentors, creative partners? Those endings can sting, and sometimes jobs make people ghosty by design.
Build exits into the beginning. It's not romantic, but it's kind. Set expectations about communication and endings when you start. Like, if either of us needs to end this, we'll say so directly and offer a handoff plan. And if you're the one leaving, give a date, define deliverables, offer a brief debrief. You can be boundaried and still generous.
Let's address an edge case: safety. There are times when saying goodbye is unsafe.
Yes. If you feel endangered, controlled, or you're exiting an abusive situation, silence and no contact can be necessary. Safety trumps etiquette. In those cases, assemble support, block as needed, and let your goodbye be the boundary.
Okay, back to the healing side. I'd love a mini toolkit. Things people can do this week to stop rerunning the ending in their head.
Here's a compact toolkit. The 24-hour window. If you haven't heard back, give it 24 hours before checking again. After that, make a decision rather than waiting indefinitely. The to-list exercise. Column A, what I know to be true, facts only. Column B, what I'm guessing. When you start spiraling, return to column A. The phone ritual. Move their chat off your home screen, mute their stories, remove photos from your widget rotation. This reduces accidental triggers. The grief appointment.
Schedule 20 minutes a day to feel the feelings. Cry, journal, play your sad song. Outside that window, when thoughts intrude, say, "I'll meet you at 7 p.m." The friend anchor. Tell one person, "Please be my don't text them buddy." Borrow their steadiness. A joy microdose. Daily 10-minute thing that proves life has color. Sit in sun. Dance in your kitchen. Smell something lovely. It sounds small. It's not. Joy is a nervous system intervention.
Let's go deeper into the letter you won't send. What should it include?
3 parts. Gratitude. Here's what I cherished. This honors that it wasn't all pain. Truth. Here's what hurt, confused, or exhausted me. Be specific without attacking. And boundary and blessing. I'm releasing you to your path. I'm choosing mine. I wish you well. Then read it aloud. Feel your feet on the floor. End with, "I am complete." Your body needs to hear you mean it.
Sometimes complete feels impossible because our brain clings to maybe they'll come back. What if they do come back? What if that text pops up months later? "Hey, stranger."
Decide your boundary in advance. Here are a few responses depending on what you want. If you're done, "I'm not available to reconnect. I wish you well." If you'd try again but want accountability, if you're reaching out to offer a clear apology and propose a different way of showing up, "I'm open to a short call. If not, I'm not interested in revisiting." If you want friendship only, "I'm not available for a romantic connection, but I wish you the best." Notice the theme? Clarity. You don't have to play coy. Your nervous system likes the truth, even if it's hard.
Let's circle back to the people who fade because they're overwhelmed. For someone listening who's realizing they've left quietly before, how do they repair that?
If the door isn't totally closed and it feels right, try a repair message that owns your part, expresses empathy, and doesn't demand a response. "I want to acknowledge that I disappeared without communicating. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. I was overwhelmed and avoided the conversation, and that caused harm. I don't expect a reply, but I wanted to be accountable." That's a gift. Repair isn't guaranteed, but accountability is healing for everyone, including you.
There's also the "I owe them everything" narrative. Like you have to answer at 2 a.m. to prove you're good. But boundaries are not vengeance. They're self-respect.
Absolutely. Boundaries say, "I choose how I participate." You can be kind and firm at once. "I appreciate you reaching out. I'm not available to re-engage." Period. Periods are powerful.
Let's bring in the body again. Heartbreak isn't only in the mind. What's one practice to help people stop looping at night?
2 options. The 3 things reset. Before bed, list aloud 3 ways you honored yourself today, no matter how small. I drank water. I answered that email. I didn't text them. It keeps your brain from scanning only for danger. The long exhale breath. Inhale 4, exhale 8. Longer exhale signals safety. Do it for 3 minutes while pressing your palms together, gently. Proprioceptive input calms the system.
I want to talk about identity. When you're left without a goodbye, it can puncture confidence. How do we rebuild self-trust?
3 practices. 1, micro promises. Keep tiny promises to yourself daily. I'll stretch for 2 minutes. I'll send that 1 email. Keeping promises restores self-reliability. 2, values check. Name 3 values you brought to the relationship. Maybe honesty, curiosity, generosity. Write them on a sticky note. You still embody these. 3, future self. Ask, if I trusted that love and friendship will return, what would I do today? Then do the tiniest version of that. Your future needs you to keep living. We've talked a lot about personal relationships. What about family? Sometimes people in our family leave without goodbye in smaller, persistent ways, like emotional absence. That's a deep grief. When a parent or sibling can't show up emotionally, you grieve an alive person. It's a slow, complex loss. Strategies? 1, Name what they can and cannot give. Accept the user manual of that person rather than the fantasy. 2. Build a chosen family network. Mentors, friends, elders. 3. Practice low contact with high clarity. Fewer interactions, but when you do engage, you decide the topics, duration, and exit plan. 4. If needed, work with a therapist, especially for childhood wounds. Your adult self can give your younger parts what they needed. I'm hearing a through line: reality over fantasy, clarity over guessing, self-honoring over self-punishment. Exactly. And compassion, because all of us are learning. The goal isn't to never get hurt, it's to hurt in honest ways that lead to growth, rather than in confusing ways that keep us stuck. Host, before we close, can we do a quick role play? I'll be the person who didn't get a goodbye. I'll say something and you give me a one-sentence reframe. I must not be worth loving. Your worth isn't up for vote. Someone's silence can't measure it. If I had been less needy, they've stayed. People who can only love you when you need nothing aren't offering love. They're offering convenience. Maybe I should text them again, just to be sure. Certainty doesn't come from chasing. It comes from choosing your boundary. I'll never find closeness like that again. You created that closeness too, and you can create it again with someone who also chooses you. That lands. Before we wrap, could you give listeners a simple 1-week healing plan? Yes, 7 days, gentle and doable. Day 1, write the unsent letter. Read it aloud. End with, I'm choosing me. Day 2, do a digital cleanse. Mute, archive, remove shortcuts, tell a friend your plan. Day 3, move your body for 15 minutes. Walk, stretch, dance. Long exhale afterward. Day 4, share the story with someone who can hold it. Ask for listening, not fixing. Day 5, joy microdose. Schedule one small thing you genuinely enjoy. Let yourself have it. Day 6, future self note. Write a message from you 6 months ahead. Here's what got better. Day 7, closure ritual. Tea or candle, reread your letter, tear it up, and say, I'm complete for now. Not forever, just for now. Complete for now. I like that. It leaves room for life to surprise us, but it keeps us from waiting at a closed door. Maya, if there's one sentence you want listeners to carry out of this episode, what is it? The goodbye you didn't get from them is the respect you can give yourself now.
If you're still with us, we've got a special extended segment for you. We got so many messages about quiet endings that we decided to stick around a little longer and go deeper. Practical scripts, real-world scenarios, and a couple of body practices you can use tonight. Maya, thanks for staying.
Always. This is where change actually happens, in the tiny, practical choices we make after the episode ends.
Let's start with some listener scenarios. We'll anonymize, of course. First one, we dated for 2 months. Things felt sweet. Then they went from good morning texts to nothing. It's been 3 weeks. Part of me wants to send one last message. Part of me is afraid of humiliating myself.
I hear both the longing and the dignity. A simple, self-honoring message can close your side without begging for clarity they can't give. Try something like, I enjoyed getting to know you. I'm noticing we've paused communication. If you don't have the capacity to continue, I respect that. I'm going to step back and won't be reaching out further. Wishing you well. If they respond, great, you can assess. If they don't, your dignity is still intact. The real work is holding the boundary you just stated.
Okay, second scenario. My friend of 8 years has been slowly withdrawing. Cancellations, reschedules, fewer check-ins. I feel hurt and a little angry, but I also know she's caring for an ill parent. I don't want to make this about me.
You can honor both truths, your hurt and her bandwidth. Consider a 2-part reach out. I miss you and I care about you. I also notice I've felt distant and a bit hurt by our canceled plans. I get that you're under a lot of stress. If it helps, I'm happy to schedule something once a month that's easy for you. And if you don't have capacity right now, I'll step back and hold you with love. You're offering a realistic path forward, not an ultimatum. If even that doesn't land, you can say later, I'm going to stop initiating for a while and think of you fondly. That's compassionate distance.
Okay, third scenario. My ex texted after 6 months of silence, "Hey, stranger." My stomach flipped. I want to respond, but I don't want to be breadcrumbed.
Decide what you want before you open the chat. 3 options. If you're done, I'm not available to reconnect. I wish you well. If you'd only consider repair with accountability, if you're reaching out to acknowledge the way we ended and discuss what would need to be different, I'm open to a short call. Otherwise, I'm not interested in revisiting. If friendship only, I'm not available for romance. If you're looking for friendship, that's not something I can offer right now. Your nervous system thrives on congruence. Say what you mean and act like you said it.
Fourth scenario. I was the one who disappeared. Life imploded. Job loss, depression. I didn't know how to explain, so I vanished. I feel guilty. Is it too late to repair?
Not too late to be accountable. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your integrity. Try, I want to acknowledge I disappeared without communicating. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. I was overwhelmed and avoided the conversation. I'm not asking for anything, just taking responsibility. If you ever want to talk, I'm open, and I also respect if you don't. Hit send only if you can tolerate any response, yes, no, or silence. The repair is the accountability itself.
Fifth scenario. We share a friend group. They didn't say goodbye, but we see each other at gatherings. It's excruciating.
Pre-plan your boundaries for shared spaces. Before the event, set a time limit. I'll stay 90 minutes. Decide your greeting. A simple hi and a nod is enough. You don't need to small talk. Build an exit line. I'm going to refresh my drink, or I promised myself I'd head out by 9. Ask an ally to run interference. If you see me getting stuck, pull me into another convo. Graceful coexistence is success here. Not intimacy, not revenge, just dignity.
I want to zoom out for a second. You use the phrase ambiguous loss. For folks hearing that for the first time, can you put it in plain language?
Absolutely. Ambiguous loss means you've lost someone or something, but the loss isn't clear or socially recognized. No breakup talk, no funeral, no ritual. That lack of clarity interrupts your brain's map of the relationship and keeps you stuck in a question mark. Healing means giving yourself the clarity and ritual you didn't get.
Let's give people a quick, doable ritual they can try tonight. 5 minutes tops.
5-minute closure micro ritual. Sit somewhere comfortable, put one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Inhale 4 counts, exhale 6, 3 times. Say out loud, this ended without words. I didn't imagine it. I'm allowed to feel this. Name 3 things you brought that you're proud of. I was consistent. I was playful. I was honest. End with, I release what isn't mine to carry. I keep what is. Then do one small action. Mute, archive, or move a photo so your environment matches your intention.
You mentioned environment. Let's talk tech hygiene because our phones can feel like an altar to a past we're trying to let go.
Design your phone to heal you, not hook you. Move their chat off the first screen. Archive or pin supportive threads instead. Mute their stories. If unfollowing feels too big, start with a 30-day mute. Change your lock screen to a picture of a place that calms you or a quote that anchors you. I choose clarity.
Can we do a myth versus truth lightning round?
Let's go.
Myth. Closure requires a conversation with them.
Truth. Closure is an internal decision supported by rituals and boundaries. Conversations help, but they're optional.
Myth. If they didn't say goodbye, they never cared.
Truth. Care and capacity are not the same.
Someone can care and still lack the skills to end well.
Myth. If I wait long enough, I'll get the explanation I need.
Truth. Waiting can become a coping strategy that keeps you from living. Choose movement over indefinite waiting.
Myth. If they come back, it means everything's different.
Truth. Change is measured in consistent behavior over time, not in a single "hey" text.
Myth. I should have seen this coming.
Truth. Hindsight creates illusions of control. You showed up with the information you had then.
I want to touch culture for a minute. Some of us grew up in families or cultures where direct no's are considered rude. How does that shape these quiet endings?
In high-context cultures, meaning is conveyed in tone, timing, and shared assumptions more than explicit words. A slow fade might be intended as kindness. That doesn't mean you can't ask for clarity. It means you might phrase it with cultural sensitivity. I sense things are shifting. If that's right, I respect it. Could we name where we are so I can adjust with care? You're offering face-saving while still getting what you need. And if you're the one ending, you can honor the culture and still be clear. I'm grateful for our time. I'm stepping back now. Thank you for understanding.
Neurodiversity. We got a message from someone with ADHD who said, I didn't ghost, I time-blinded. And from someone autistic who said, I missed hints and thought we were fine.
Exactly. Executive dysfunction, rejection sensitivity, sensory overload. These can all impact communication. 2 supports. Capacity statements. I'm slow on replies. If it takes me time, it's not about you. Here's a better way to reach me. Exit agreements. If either of us needs to pause, we'll say, I need to step back for 2 weeks, and we'll check in on date. We normalize clear pauses so silence doesn't feel like abandonment.
Let's do a mini practice for nighttime rumination, the 2 a.m. loop when your brain writes fan fiction about what went wrong.
The 3-2-1 reset. 3 gratitudes, specific to today, not generic, like I laughed with a coworker, the light looked pretty on my walk, I made soup. 2 boundaries I honored. I didn't look at their profile. I left the party when I was tired. And 1 intention for morning. Text my cousin or take a 10-minute walk. Then do a longer exhale breath, in for 4, out for 8, for 2 minutes. If thoughts intrude, say, I'll meet you at 7 a.m.
I love that you keep bringing it back to the body. Let's address the question nobody wants to ask. What if I'm addicted to the chase? I feel alive when I'm trying to win someone back.
Such an honest question. That aliveness is often anxiety and intermittent reinforcement, occasional crumbs that spike dopamine. To shift, replace the spike with steady sources of aliveness, movement, creative play, novelty that isn't relational drama. Track your nervous system. What happens in your body before you reach out? Name it. Buzzing chest, hollow stomach. Bring breath and pressure to the area. Press your hand there and breathe. Create a delay ritual, 20 minutes between urge and action. In that window, text your anchor friend, take a walk, play a song that grounds you. If you still want to reach out after 20 minutes, reassess. Often, the urge passes.
I want to circle back to repair because people wrote in saying, I want to learn to end well. Can you give us a plain language blueprint for a kind goodbye?
Kind goodbye blueprint. Start with context. I've been thinking about us. State your truth clearly. I'm not able to continue this relationship. Own your part without oversharing. I've avoided hard conversations before, and I don't want to do that now. Offer a boundary. I won't be available for ongoing contact. Offer a humane closing. I'm grateful for what we shared. I wish you well. Optional, if logistics exist, add a brief plan. I'll send my part of the files by Friday, Or, I'll drop your book at your door tomorrow.
Since we're in blueprint mode, what about work? Emails, Slack, collaborators?
Let's do a quick check for those wondering, how do I actually know I'm healing, not just distracting myself?
Healing indicators. You check less, not because you white knuckle it, but because you forget to. The story gets simpler. It ended replaces I could have, they should have. Your body's baseline steadies, sleep improves, appetite evens out, the world feels less sharp. You can imagine a future not starring this person and feel a flicker of curiosity. You keep micro promises to yourself more often than not.
And green flags to look for next time, so we don't rebuild the same house on the same sand.
3 C's: clarity, capacity, congruence. Clarity. They say what they mean without making you decode. Capacity. They have the time, energy, and emotional room to show up. Congruence. Their actions match their words over time. If you see gaps, you can ask, what does support look like for you right now? Or what's a realistic cadence for us? The way they answer tells you a lot.
I want to try a story exercise. I'll share a common thought, you give me a reframe and an action. Ready?
Ready.
If I let go, it means it never mattered.
Letting go honors that it mattered and that you matter too. Create a keepsake. Save 1 photo, 1 song, 1 lesson. Archive the rest.
If I ask for clarity, I'll seem needy.
Clarity is leadership, not neediness. Action. Try, I value direct communication. Are you available to continue this connection? If not, I'll step back.
Maybe if I become more chill, people won't leave.
Reframe. You deserve relationships where your full range is welcome. Action. Write your relationship user manual. How you communicate, what you need when stressed, how you repair. Share it early.
I can't trust myself to choose better.
Reframe. Self-trust grows by keeping small promises, not by being perfect. Action. Pick 1 micro-promise for 3 days. No profile checking before noon. 2-minute stretch after coffee.
We also got questions about family. Emotional ghosting at the dinner table. My dad shows up physically, but never asks about my life. It hurts every time.
That's a recurring living grief. 3 steps. Name the limit. My dad isn't available emotionally. Adjust the ask. Choose safer topics or shorter visits. Seek depth elsewhere. Create aftercare, a ritual after family time. Call a friend, take a walk, journal 1 page to let the feelings move. You can love someone and stop trying to get water from a stone.
Okay, let's give folks a no more maybes commitment they can carry into the week.
The No More Maybes pledge. I won't negotiate with mixed signals. I'll ask directly once. If clarity doesn't follow, I'll choose my boundary. I will not confuse intensity for intimacy. I will measure change by consistent actions, not future promises. Say it out loud. Write it somewhere you'll see.
And before we close the extended cut, you promised 1 more body practice, something people can do in 90 seconds before they text, before they scroll, before they spiral.
The 90-second orient and press. Look around the room and name 3 colors you see. Turn your head, let your eyes move. Tell your nervous system, we're here now. Press your palms together for 10 seconds, release. Repeat twice. It gives your body feedback, containment without collapse. Whisper, I'm safe enough in this moment to choose. Then choose 1 small action that serves you.
I want to offer space for 1 more role play, the apology people wish they'd gotten. I'll say the longing, you say the accountability someone could have offered.
Let's do it.
I wish you had just told me instead of disappearing.
You're right. I avoided the hard talk, and it hurt you. You deserved clarity. I'm sorry.
I kept making room for you. I needed you to choose me back.
I took the room you gave without honoring your need to be chosen. That wasn't fair. I'm sorry I did that.
I felt crazy rereading texts for clues.
Your mixed signals put you in that spin. You weren't crazy. My lack of clarity was confusing.
Hearing those words, even as an exercise, lets the nervous system unclench a little. But we can also be the ones to say the words we needed to ourselves.
Yes. Sometimes we become the person who finally tells the truth we didn't get. It's powerful to put a hand on your heart and say, I deserved clarity. I didn't get it. I'm giving it to myself now.
Before we sign off for real, can you give a 7-day part 2 plan for folks who want to go deeper?
A second week plan, gentle and real. Day 8, make a truth and tenderness playlist. First half, songs that let you cry. Second half, songs that make you move. Feel, then move. Day 9, write your relationship resume. Skills you practiced, listening, humor, planning, outcomes you're proud of, lessons learned. You're more than the ending. Day 10, tidy one corner of your space. Closure loves a clear surface. Put one object there that represents your next chapter. Day 11, community hour. Spend 60 minutes with someone who feels safe. Name one thing you're building now. Day 12, boundary rehearsal. Stand in front of a mirror and practice 3 boundary lines out loud. Let your mouth learn the shape of them. Day 13, joy field trip. 1 hour to somewhere new, a park, a gallery, a different cafe. Novelty is medicine. Day 14, gratitude plus release ritual. Light a candle, read your unsent letter one more time, speak your blessing, and say, I am complete for now. Then blow out the candle slowly.
We've covered a lot of ground. For the folks who are thinking, this sounds great, but I'm still in pain, you're not behind. You're human. Pain doesn't mean you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. Healing isn't a straight staircase. It's more like a spiral. You revisit the same themes at higher levels of awareness. If safety is a concern in any relationship, reach out for support. And for everyday heartbreak, small, consistent kindness to yourself is the lever that moves the whole thing.
Maya, thank you for this extended conversation. For the scripts, the science, the softness. This is the part where we really learn to say goodbye to the goodbye we didn't get.
Thank you for holding space so generously. To everyone listening, your clarity is an act of love towards yourself and towards the people who will get the truest you next.
That's our extended cut. If this helped, send it to someone who needs a little clarity today. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep choosing what chooses you back.